Why do ancient common law principles still govern easements? Imagine a time when land was the main form of wealth and property rights needed clear rules to prevent disputes. That's where these old principles come from. They have been around for hundreds of years, shaping how land use rights are handled today. These principles give us a steady, predictable way to understand who can use what land and for what purpose. They were created to keep things simple and fair, especially when landowners needed to share access or utilities. Easements are rights that let one person use another person's land for specific reasons, like walking through a property or running utility lines. The rules about how easements are created, transferred, or enforced come from these long-standing laws. They often come from an express agreement, an implication, or through a process called prescription, which is when someone uses land openly for a long time without protest. These rules have been refined over time, but they still relying on the original ideas to prevent confusion and legal fights. For real estate investors, knowing these old rules is important. They help determine if an easement can be moved or transferred, which can impact the property's value or future use. For example, if an easement is tied to a specific location, changing it might be difficult under traditional law. This certainty helps investors make smarter decisions when buying or developing land. However, these rules can be quite strict. For instance, a landowner who owns the land that is burdened by an easement usually cannot change its location without the agreement of the easement holder. This can be frustrating if land use needs change or if modernization requires moving the easement. Sometimes, this rigidity causes delays or conflicts, especially when parties cannot agree on modifying the easement. To address these issues, modern laws and reforms have been introduced. These include rules like the Restatement of Property and the Uniform Easement Relocation Act. They aim to allow reasonable changes to easements without causing harm or unfairness. These reforms try to balance the rights of both landowners and easement holders, encouraging better land use and development. Despite these new approaches, the core principles from centuries ago still hold sway. They provide a clear legal foundation that reduces confusion and helps courts decide disputes consistently. These principles also create uniform rules across different regions, making property transactions smoother. In the end, these ancient common law ideas still govern easements because they offer a reliable, straightforward way to manage land rights. They help investors and property owners understand what they can and cannot do, reducing surprises and legal risks. While some rules may seem rigid, their stability supports the entire system of property law. Modern reforms are working to make these rules more flexible, but the original principles remains the backbone of easement law today.